Alright, let's dive into something that's both fascinating and deeply concerning. Imagine this. The ocean, a place we often think of as vast and unchanging, is actually sending us a distress signal. And it's coming from one of the most vibrant ecosystems on the planet, Florida's coral reefs. Here's the deal. Scientists are in a race against time to save these reefs as El Niño turns up the heat on the ocean. Sounds like a sci-fi plot, right? But it's happening right now, and it's way more complex than you might think. What makes this really interesting is how this story isn't just about rising temperatures. It's about resilience, innovation, and the lessons we're learning from past mistakes. 3 years ago, Florida faced a devastating marine heat wave that caused the worst mass coral bleaching event in the state's history. If you're not familiar, coral bleaching is basically the reef's version of a panic attack. It expels the algae that gives it color and nutrients, leaving it vulnerable and often doomed. It's like watching a living city crumble in slow motion. But here's the twist. Scientists say they're better prepared this time around. Personally, I think this is where the story gets hopeful. It's not just about reacting to disaster, it's about adapting and fighting back smarter. One thing that immediately stands out is the urgency in the air. By late June, the waters off South Florida were already ominously warm. Ken Neddemeyer, a key figure in this fight, and his team are on high alert. What many people don't realize is that coral reefs aren't just underwater decorations. They're critical ecosystems that support marine life, protect coastlines, and even contribute to local economies. Losing them would be like losing a vital organ in the ocean's body. So, when the water heats up, it's not just the corals that suffer, it's the entire web of life connected to them. From my perspective, what's most fascinating is the human response to this crisis. Scientists are using cutting-edge technology, like satellite monitoring and coral nurseries, to predict and mitigate damage. They're essentially playing chess with nature, trying to stay one step ahead. But here's the kicker. This isn't just a local problem. El Niño is a global phenomenon, and what happens in Florida's waters could be a preview of what's to come for reefs worldwide. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a microcosm of our larger battle against climate change. It's about how we respond to warning signs, and whether we can act fast enough to make a difference. This raises a deeper question. Can we really save the reefs, or are we just delaying the inevitable? Personally, I think the answer lies in how we balance immediate action with long-term solutions. It's not enough to just treat the symptoms. We need to address the root cause, rising ocean temperatures. But in the meantime, efforts like coral restoration give me hope. They're a testament to human ingenuity and our refusal to give up on something so beautiful and vital. A detail I find fascinating is how this crisis is bringing people together. Scientists, conservationists, and even local communities are collaborating in ways they never have before. It's a reminder that when the stakes are this high, we can set aside differences and work toward a common goal. What this really suggests is that the fight for the reefs isn't just about saving corals. It's about saving ourselves and the planet we call home. So, as we watch this story unfold, I'm left with a mix of worry and optimism. Worry because the clock is ticking, and optimism because we're not standing still. We're learning, adapting, and fighting back. And that, in itself, is something worth paying attention to. What do you think? Are we doing enough to protect these underwater wonders, or is there more we could be doing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.